I've got a playtime story for you. So once upon a time, in a faraway land, in a very red land, there was a guy. His name was Juicy Mike. And welcome to another installation of TechTalk. The boys are back. Mike, what are we talking about?
Plate time story. So I think that's probably got to do with plates. So yeah, I mean, always a good topic. Certainly something we deal with day to day. A very integral part of our machinery and tooling. The in-between part of the machinery and the tooling, I guess. So we want that to all be set up correctly and doing what it should be doing. You said we're in the red land, so I'm going to cross to Milan, who certainly looks like he's in the red land there.
Yeah, I mean, plates, interesting topic. I mean, we got plates that hold our tooling. What could be the problem? I mean, seems simple enough, right? You put your tools on the plate and off you go. And then all of a sudden, you might be experiencing some funky scratch patterns or something that you're not familiar with. So what could it be about my plates?
I'm glad you said funky, because I had my hand on the dump button there for a minute.
Oh man, I tell you what, we've got to stop talking about stuff. The more that we talk about stuff, the more that people write to us to say, I've got a problem here, or can you explain a bit more about that? So I never thought we'd be doing tech talk about plates, guys. Seriously, plates. How important could plates actually be under your machine? You know, it's kind of like, it's kind of like just the braking part of the car. Slows you down, right? Why are they so important?
They're like the sales rep, like the conduit between the machinery and the diamond tooling. They're like the sales rep between Works Plus and the customer. They're very important, Josh.
Is that what makes you the juice?
Well, I guess this is a kind of a continuation of our tech talk where we talked about dedicated plates, dedicated da-da-da. But we had a few different inquiries from different people about, hey, like Josh already said, we had this particular issue where one actual shoe, like Redi Loc shoe, sits out further than another, or another one doesn't sit further in. So can that actually impact how I'm grinding, or can that actually give me issues whilst grinding or whilst polishing?
I was about to say absolutely. Of course, the plates are going to have an effect.
Great, thanks, guys.
Can you? All right, that's all done. Thanks, Josh.
What was the last thing you
have a great weekend. Have a great weekend, everyone. Have a beer on me. Ciao.
I feel like we just did this one so we could have a beer afterwards.
We finally did it in the space of time that people were hoping we would.
I'm going to go and have a plate of beer.
I guess what I want to know, Josh, and you used to be a mechanic for King Concepts back in the day. You know about machinery. You know what kind of implications that may have on the actual scratch patterns and the way the machine actually reacts whilst grinding. What kind of things will we be seeing if the Redi Loc segments aren't in line with each other, I guess?
Yeah, okay. So a few things that go on. One thing is that I don't actually recall ever being a mechanic at King Concepts. You know?
I think it's pronounced mechanic.
Mechanic. Look, what you will see. Okay, why the plates play such an important role, and there's a few different moving parts in this as well as to how it will pan out. So we've got a few different things at play here. One being the actual head. That's the first thing to come off of the machine. You've got the head itself. So you're either going to, on a machine, you're going to have an attachment head that's either using a spring or it's going to be using a polycord. Who remembers polycords? If you're running the old school HTCs, the fabric stretched over a silicon spring. I mean, who comes up with these ideas? Then we had of course, now most guys are using under, professional machines, demolition heads, which take a lot of the movement side out of things. And anyone who is using demolition heads will probably appreciate just how much smoother they run. The next thing in line, once we've sorted out that and got everything running true and running smoothly, is the plates. okay, the plates that we attach the tools to. We often look or overlook these types of things, and we have obviously a lot of technical inquiries as to, look, this is how my machine's running today, these are the type of scratch patterns it's leaving, and what's wrong. It's really good when we're only working with one little, snippet of the information, the whole picture, and then we're left to investigate, work out what's actually happening under that machine. So some of the most common things that we see is we have, even from the same manufacturer, we have that Redi Loc plate that is actually two different thicknesses. There's a batch or the regular batch, which is a thicker batch, and then, or let's call that the standard batch. And then there's actually been, over time, another batch come out that the plates were actually thinner. And nobody from the manufacturing side let the sales company know this, and nobody actually happened to measure it, but a lot of customers ended up with plates that were various thicknesses. So that's going to have an effect on how the machine performs, because as soon as you put that machine on, you're going to have an uneven distribution of weight. And of course, your tools are going to wear at a different rate as well. And of course, you're going to see that on the floor, an effect. The other less obvious one is really that Redi Loc dovetail slot is very, very, it's actually quite a precise pattern to make that. And what we see particularly on copied plates, pirate plates, knockoff plates, whatever you want to call them, is that dovetail isn't bang on. And now people don't realize that. They mix up a set of plates, and they've got one plate where the Redi Loc tool doesn't go all the way to the end of the dovetail, and then they've got two plates or what have you, where they actually do go all the way to the end and lock in the way that they're supposed to.
All right, in regards to plates, just getting tooled up here, thinking about some of the verbiage from the last Tech Talk, and we noticed that two of these plates, the tools slide on all the way to the edge or right off the edge, and this last plate, they don't quite reach the edge. These aren't banged in, but you can see the gap is double to triple on those two plates than it is on this plate. Is this what we're referencing when we see variables in a scratch pattern? Could we assume that this is a variable?
Which means that we've got two heads where the diamonds are sitting all the way around on the perimeter, and then you've got one head where they sit slightly in. The effect that you're going to notice as an operator is the machine is going to be harder to hang on to. The reason why this is because the two plates where you've got the diamonds around the outer perimeter require more torque because they've got more leverage over the plate. So they're going to be sucking up a bit more power than the opposing one actually requires, because it doesn't need as much leverage. It doesn't have as much leverage over the machine, so it doesn't require as much to turn it. So even just from a internal balancing of the machine, we're going to have discrepancies. Mm-hmm. So keeping the machine running smooth is paramount if we want the floor to come out smooth. Running a machine rough and expecting the floor to come out smooth, it's never going to work. It's an unrealistic expectation. So if we've got plates that aren't marrying up and create different or varying levels of load on the machine, we're not going to get the same consistent finish on the floor. Of course, we'll see other discrepancies in the fact that if you're doing a cutting deep, doing the donut, those two heads are constantly going to be pushing up against the edge of the donut, so they'll be getting smashed with all the extra pressure. But that other one, where the odd one out, is actually not reaching the edge of the donut, so it's not even getting exposed to it, and so therefore it's not even wearing as fast as the other two. So now we get uneven diamond wear between the three plates, and well, we know it's going to happen over time, don't we, baby?
Get a bit of a wobble.
There's something wrong with your V-hole there.
Oh, wrong channel. My bad.
Well,
so yeah, we can't really afford to overlook all of these critical points, particularly when we get better and better at our art. The smaller things become bigger problems.
And would I be right in saying these similar issues would be the case with resin holder discs? And you know, you mentioned about the pirate sort of thinner disc that came out. Was that sort of scenario with the resin holder discs as well, mate? Or
You got it.
there was?
Either in the plate itself or in the rubber. And look, these things can happen. I mean, we talk about the last 2 years of supply chain. People are scrambling with whatever they can material-wise in order just to keep things running. So some things have been overlooked during that time as an alternative that actually kept the machine running. Might just be a replacement rubber as an alternative. It's slightly thinner, and something that you've got from ages ago or something that's brand new might be slightly varying in thickness. So we just got to keep all of our equipment in check.
So apart from having plates from different manufacturers, and let's say I'm grinding and I hit a Dynabolt, we know that can damage the plates, obviously. But let's say I'm a very good operator. I'm just doing heavy grinding and polishing. I'm not hitting any Dynabolts because I'm diligent. Is there a lifespan on the Redi Loc plates? Will they give up over time? Because obviously we're creating a lot of friction, a lot of heat. Is there a good time to replace plates, and how do I know when is the right time?
You'll know when it's right. You know when it's the right time, Milan. Look, like you say, it all. Yes, you're giving us a scenario there where you're doing surface prep and you're hitting Dynabolts and that sort of stuff. That's obviously going to wear these things out faster. If you're looking after a set of plates, man, I've got Redi Loc plates from 20 years ago still. They're good. They're still operating. So
Are they in black and white?
So you're telling me. So what you're basically telling me, you've got your Redi Loc plates from 20 years ago. They even put use by dates on pillows now. So it means you have a 20-year-old pillow you're sleeping on?
Daniel, my pillow came out before the use by dates came out. So that's kind of like a loophole.
Okay.
When it started making its way to the bin, that's when he knew the use by date was up.
Yeah. When I got up in the morning and my pillow was still snoring, that was a use by date.
When you woke up and you couldn't find your pillow, but you remember having a dream eating a massive marshmallow, or I think we're veering off topic a little bit.
No, but I think it's very crucial. It's such a minor thing, but it can have such major impacts. So I suggest everyone's homework this week is get your vernier out this week and measure your plates. Make sure your Redi Loc sit in nice and flush to the edge of the plate.
Keep it tight.
Make sure anything variable, replace it.
Make sure you've got a nice metal scraper on board for when you want to clean up your GRT discs, your grouting metals. When you do replace them, you want to give those discs a good clean up so then the fresh grouting metals go on nicely and that sort of thing there.
Absolutely. Just make sure you got all your gear with you.
Yeah.
Does it have to be so hard?
Are we done there, boys? Am I doing the wrap up?
Yeah, I'm thirsty.
You thirsty? You can go and get a plate of beer.
No, I'm gonna drink beer off a plate.
It's got the Redi Loc jaw happening again.
Redi Loc jaw.
Redi Loc jaw. I like it. Well, great topic this week, guys. Great topic about plates this week. Next week, make sure you join us. We talk about the spork. Is it a spoon? Is it a fork? Join us next week to find out.
Thanks, Mike. I'm going to see you guys.
See you, gents.
Have a great weekend.
Have a significant weekend.
Oh, yeah, we're recording now, aren't we?
Yeah.